So I'm drinking not coffee, I'm drinking actually a mushroom hot chocolate blend that I make myself. So it has chocolate in it, it has ashwagandha, turmeric, a little bit of pepper because pepper activates turmeric. It has lion's mane, reishi, and cordyceps. And then on top of it, I added this coconut blend, this coconut, like kind of like a creamer. And it also has grass-fed collagen in it. So grass-fed collagen, salt, it's a lot going on, but it tastes yummy. What follows is the chit chat only portion of episode 72 of our podcast. And I'm going to be talking about the latest experiences I've had with regards to health and exercise and supplements. And I'm also going to tell you about some amazing mom comedians that I highly recommend that you see on this chit chat only portion of episode 72 of the Harness the Power of Planning podcast, starting now. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Alegre here. I am solo. This will hopefully, no, not hopefully. This will definitely be my last solo day going on this month because Natasha will be coming back from her silent retreat, which I can't wait to hear about. I wonder what she's going to tell us about her silent retreat. Sounds like a pretty fun experience though, as a mom. Sometimes just going to the shower can feel like a vacation. Going to the shower, taking a shower can feel like a vacation because no one's pulling on you or asking you to do something. And so I'm sure a 2-week silent retreat must just feel so peaceful. So I can't wait for Natasha to get back and tell us all about it. In the meantime, I am Allegra, one half of Beyond Your Wildest Dreams, or BYWD, as we call ourselves. And we are the authors of these 4 short read books. This one is our bestseller and was a bestseller. 3-2-1 Done, 3 Simple Steps to Get Your To-Do List Done. All of these books are workbooks because Natasha and I know with our decades of instructional and educational background, both of us are educators, we're coaches. I am a public speaking coach, Natasha is a voice coach. From our decades of coaching, we know that people learn better when they do. And so all 4 of these books are short reads. You can read them in about an hour and you can do the exercises in them in about an hour so that you can immediately start implementing the things that we talk about there. And to get our books, go to, if you can find everything on our website, bywdreams.com. Today, our topic is creating a family emergency plan. And when Natasha's here, usually we do a little bit of chit chat and then we get into the topic. However, I am alone, as you can see. And so I am unable to do chit chat. However, I do have some things on my mind. So I am just going to start with that, I guess. Today, so I have been listening to a really interesting book called Body by Science. And by the way, if you sign up for our newsletter at bywdreams.com, you will get the links that you need to find all of the books that we reference or any other references that we might mention. And today there are definitely going to be some because we're talking about family emergency plan. And I have some amazing resources for you that I actually just learned about yesterday because I am active in the emergency preparedness community in my municipality. And they actually had a meeting where I live in Los Angeles. It's called CERT training. CERT stands for Community Emergency Response Team. That's right. And so my husband and I have taken part in multiple CERT trainings, which are totally free at a certain level. And then you can go like the higher levels where basically you can get like EMT training and those cost money. But the introductory CERT training is totally free. So I definitely recommend that you look into whatever training might be available in your municipality, because the reality is that if there is an emergency in your neighborhood, more likely than not, it's your neighbors who are going to help you, because all the emergency services like fire trucks and EMTs and law enforcement, they're going to tend to go more towards like government centers or maybe universities or wherever there's like a big concentration of important buildings and stuff like that. And if you just live in an everyday neighborhood, it's really your neighbors. Actually, a statistic I heard last night was something like, if you are in danger by an emergency, you have a 93% chance that it's a neighbor who's gonna help you versus paid law enforcement or emergency response or whatever the case may be. So, I'm gonna get into that a little bit more, but rewind. Let's talk about something that I experienced this week and I thought was really interesting. And so I want to share with you. If you have listened to us before, then you know that I'm really into health, all things health. In fact, I'm trying out a new coconut creamer called salted caramel. And it's sweetened with stevia, which I'm not a huge fan of stevia, but if it's not too much, I like it. So I'm drinking not coffee, I'm drinking actually a mushroom hot chocolate blend that I make myself. So it has chocolate in it, it has ashwagandha, turmeric, a little bit of pepper because pepper activates turmeric. It has lion's mane, reishi, and cordyceps. And then on top of it, I added this coconut blend, this coconut, like kind of like a creamer. And it also has grass fed collagen in it. So, grass fed collagen, salt, it's a lot going on, but it tastes yummy. So, I'm always trying new things. I'm really into supplementing because, and by the way, I was not into supplementing really until, so I'm 50. I turned 50 this year. Woo woo! Let's hear it for people who are 50. Oh, feel free to chat in the comments, by the way. Okay. I don't know this person, patriots, and all sorts of weird things happening. It on the on the on the chat. But anyway, so yeah, I'm super interested in I love learning about health and supplements. And so I'm reading a really interesting book called Body by Science, which is all about how long, sustained, low impact cardio does not have the aerobic benefits that you think. And the they talks about how important it is for you to get to really muscle failure and how to do that. And so today, my experiment was that I was going to take the workout that I do regularly. So I like to do Legree Pilates. And if you've never heard of Legree Pilates, Legree is a method of Pilates that is basically more like weight training than traditional Pilates. If you're expecting regular Pilates and you go into a Legree class, you are going to be maybe scared uh, because it is intense. And I love this workout because it allows you to really, really focus on whatever muscles you're using because of the fact that you're laying down versus, traditional weight training, you're usually standing up. Although there are some like leg curls and leg presses, you might be sitting or lying down. But in Legree, they put the lights really low and you have you might be holding onto a strap or you might be just using like a traditional Pilates board where you're just kind of moving yourself back and forth, except that there's springs attached to it that are quite heavy. I think there's a maximum of maybe about 150 pounds on the springs because there are two kinds of springs. Some are 8-pound springs and some are 30-pound springs. And I think there's about 150 total pounds that you can load up onto your Pilates platform. Anyway, it is a super intense workout, but the whole Body by Science book talks about how if you're not pushing yourself to failure, then you're never going to see improvements in your body or changes in your body, I should say, because our bodies adapt to whatever it is that you do. And if you're doing something that isn't challenging to you, then your body's like, well, I already know how to do this. So, for instance, you jog for 20 minutes. No, your body's like, "I already know how to do this, and I don't need to change anything in any way. I don't need to build any muscle. I don't need to improve your lung capacity because we already know how to do this." And so the reality is if you want to improve lung capacity, or if you want to improve your heart, or if you want to build muscle, what this book says, right? I'm not a doctor and I don't play one on TV, but this book is written by a medical doctor. Let me just grab the name for you all. So it's called Body by Science, a research based program for strength training, bodybuilding, and complete fitness by Dr. Doug McGuff. And as I said, sign up for a newsletter at bywdreams.com and you will get links to all these things. So anyway, I decided in my Legree Pilates class to really push myself to not sort of go into autopilot and just coast, but to really focus on like squeezing the muscles and listening to the instructor and just following her instructions as well as I can, and just really making it hard on myself and getting to muscle failure as fast as I could. And so the fascinating thing is I wear a Fitbit, and so I'm able to see the actual numbers generated by my exercise, to see my how my heart rate is affected, and to see how I've exerted myself. And so I took a class today and I compared the numbers to a similar class that I took recently, and I got almost 40% more exertion in terms of my heart rate peaking out. And so that was a really cool validation for me about what this doctor is talking about, because I definitely felt my muscles were working harder. I was out of breath faster, and I feel like I'm going to get some really cool gains, which, that's what it's all about. You exercise some of it, of course there's some exercise that you do just for fun. For instance, I play soccer and I play soccer for fun. And yes, it's good for my overall fitness in many ways. However, this more strategic, targeted, focused, working to failure type of exercise has a specific purpose as well. And so I know I'm going to feel gains from this because I can just feel how I was wiped out after this class, and I was also I was also hungry after this class, and I could just feel the difference in my muscles. So, it'll be fun tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna have to do some stretching tonight. I don't know about y'all, but now that I am older, hydration and tightness are issues in a way that they never were before. I've always been kind of a flexible person, but definitely in the last decade I've noticed that my muscles, and probably it's not just my muscles, probably it's also my fascia, basically, are less hydrated and therefore tighter. And, I was one of those people who was like, stretching, who needs to stretch? Let's go. And I never seemed to get injured and, that sort of thing. But now I really notice I really have to stretch. I really have to pay attention to my hydration and my electrolytes. There's an electrolyte drink in here because I was sweating my booty off in that class. I mean, just dripping. I always take a rag with me. No, well, not a rag. It's like a washcloth, right? I always take a washcloth with me because I drip sweat so much that I need to just like wipe it away. Yeah, it's crazy. So, anyway, I that was really a fun, experiment looking at my Fitbit numbers and seeing how it was different. And also, today, I'm gonna really have to be good about my hydration and my stretching, because when you load up your muscles and you get that lactic acid burn, you have to work it out. It doesn't just flush out on its own. So I'm really gonna work on making sure to flush that out so that I don't have, the pain in my muscles tomorrow. So, what's been going on with me. One other thing that's been going on with me is, for those of you who follow my Instagram, so I have a separate Instagram. It's alegreramos.com. you can look it up. I also do stand-up comedy for fun. And I went to a great show this week. It was at this new place in Hollywood called the Kookaburra Lounge. Highly recommend it. So, so cool. And again, I'll put all of the links for this in our newsletter. If you go to bywdreams.com and sign up, you'll get all the links. So really cool place, woman owned, very woman focused performance space. So beautiful. It's like pink and green florals and all of this emerald green velvet with gold accents. Really just gorgeous, gorgeous place. And I went to see a show and there was a drop-in. So there's a drop-in is someone who's unexpected who shows up, and usually it's someone kind of famous because that's how they get to drop in. Otherwise, they're the comics who are supposed to go on, and then sometimes you get these surprise comics. And these two ladies I thought were the best comedians of the evening. They are known as I Mom So Hard. That's the name of their comedy duo-ship. They're two moms, best friends. They are hilarious and they are on tour. So, by the way, one of my comedy writing buddies is a 23-year-old woman, and she was there with me. And so let me tell you, she agreed with me that they were the best comedians of the night, and she's, 23. Like, having kids, getting married is so far from her mind. These ladies are hilarious. So, I Mom So Hard. Their website is imomsohard.com. Again, this will be in the newsletter as well. But they are on tour. They are going all over Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Kentucky, Colorado, Wyoming, Kansas, Nebraska, all over, Arizona, New Mexico. Go see them. They are hilarious. Highly, highly recommend. So that's what's been going on with me. And hey, that's my chit chat for today.
Dream wild, wild dreamer. Thanks for joining us for the Harness the Power of Planning podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen.